Hi to everybody. This is Francesco Rulli. I'm the CEO of Querlo. I'm also the AI business partner for Forbes Insights. And the third role I have is the cognitive officer of the Florence Cathedral Museum that you can see behind me. I'm here today with Dave Sivils, who's an executive. Dave and I spoke a few months ago when he was working for a leading transportation company. And Dave, is my understanding that you started your own consulting firm and project. So if you can share with us some more insights about your new venture.
Okay, thanks, Francesco. Yes, I started a consultancy trying to stay in the transportation and logistics vertical. I've been in that vertical for 23 years now. Worked for a couple of transportation companies, also a leading transportation and logistics software provider. So I'm presently on a large-scale project doing research on various classifications of transportation logistics software that's out there. Could be anything from a TMS system to a mobile comm provider to safety modules. Kind of a lengthy list, to tell you the truth. I've enjoyed it quite a bit because there's some old friends I have in different parts of those classifications, and I'm making some new friends too, learning about their business and how they do things and how it's going. So been going pretty well, like it a lot. Still am very capable with things that cover any genre. It's like data continuity, business continuity, disaster recovery, cybersecurity, which of course is huge right now. There's always there's a lot of new episodes that's come about in recent months that has shed a lot of visibility on that and how problematic it is. And I do have a fairly extensive background with that as far as cybersecurity. So been going pretty well.
Very interesting. Thank you. So we are entering a very special, specific time in history. We're heading possibly outside of the COVID era, and especially the transportation industry has been a very important part of this evolution that we have seen. So what are your thoughts about the evolution of transportation and also in combination to the research you're doing, the role of artificial intelligence for organizations and companies that are in that space?
Yes. Well, as far as COVID went for transportation logistics, was probably one of the events I had to worry least about last year. There was a lot of other events that were natural and unnatural that I had to take into account and work on. However, now, specifically in this research project, there are a number of vendors out there that are really leaning on machine learning and artificial intelligence to accelerate the product that they have, what they're doing with it, how it can increase productivity without adding personnel in the background. So it's kind of a big part of all of these different systems that I've been reviewing. The ones that seem to be kind of in the forefront of what they're doing in their specific classifications have made a marked effort to include machine learning and artificial intelligence. So I see that as something that's just going to accelerate within any industry, to tell you the truth. Increases productivity, their products, and what they're looking toward the future with.
Yeah, indeed, what you're mentioning is very interesting because in the last few months, most of our business has become building digital assistants that sit on top of enterprise solutions from all natures, from CRMs to HR, ERP, and all centralizing, all information is going into one brain. So that's exactly the direction we see ourselves from our perspective. One last question I have, you had the chance possibly to speak with Michelangelo. He's the artificial intelligence of the artist who passed 546 years ago. And what are your thoughts about the fact that we're attempting to use artificial intelligence to bring back a personage of the past, let's say a thought leader and an artist like this through artificial intelligence?
I think that's extremely exciting, and I'll tell you why. There are numbers of historical figures where which would be really interesting to have some type of a verbal interaction with them, specifically if you can capture the essence of that person and you know, understand what their thoughts were, what their feelings were, what they were thinking about, you know, currently and at that point in time. You know, there's that quote from George Santayana, is like, those who forget the past are condemned to relive it. And I think it would be interesting now and going forward to have all of the historical figures as much as possible in some type of a embodiment, which AI can do for that, to converse and cover that particular person, what they were doing. Michelangelo specifically, of course, in the artist realm, you know, with sculptures and you know, the Sistine Chapel, and trying to understand that time period and that person, and what can we glean from that to possibly move forward with each of us as a human.
Thank you very much. So one last question for you. If people want to learn more about your new consulting business, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Well, on LinkedIn, of course, David Sivils. It's Sivils Enterprises. Working on a website right now that's up right now, but have a meeting this week to get a little bit more done with it. But that's civilsenterprises.com. And well, I've been in the business now for a long, long time, in IT for sure. So feel free to reach out and I will assist as much as possible.
Perfect. Thank you very much, David. Very appreciated.